Hello and welcome to the Wunatekti Indoor Stadium in Naypyidaw, the capital of Myanmar. We are here for the ISTAF Super Series Myanmar 2014-2015. Men's action in Group A, and it is Malaysia going up against Japan. Malaysia, one of the powerhouses of Sepaktakraw. Japan, who played their first Group A match this morning and lost to Malaysia's neighbours Singapore. But it was a close one, 22-20, 21-17. My name's Drew Lilly, and I will hand over to the stadium announcer to introduce the players and the officials to you.
Representing Japan as Captain number 4, Daishi Tanaki, number 5, Toshihara Naito, number 2, Masanori Hayashi as reserve, number 3, Masahiro Yamada as reserve, team manager Mr. Toshi Mamoru, and coach Mr. Yusuke Kushino. Officials heading
Five players in each squad, 3 starters and 2 substitutes. 2 substitutions allowed in each set, best of 3 sets. And we have 6 officials as well. The one in the middle, Mohamed Radi, is the overall tournament referee. And then we have a referee and his assistant on either side of the net. A courtside referee who looks after the substitutions we've just talked about and the timeouts. 1 per set per team, and then 2 others line judges. So looking at the Malaysian starting lineup, plenty of changes. Shazreen Kamar, the feeder and the captain, he's still there, and he'll be doing the absolute yeoman's work in midfield, keeping the ball alive and setting it up for Khairul Zaman, who has been chosen as striker. Noor Shahrudin is still injured, hurt his knee just over a year ago, re-injured it, and has had to have a cruciate operation, so we won't be seeing him for the entire season. Japan going young. On the bench they have Masanori Hayashi, Masahiro Yamada. Plenty of experience, but they have an inexperienced top 3, trying to give them some game time. And that didn't quite work out in the first match when they played Singapore. In particular, they struggled at the Takraw position. Daishi Tamaki was taken out, then brought back in when Japan were winning, leading 2016 in the first set. 4 set points, failed to take them. 6 points in a row went the way of Singapore. So Malaysia will be hoping that they can do at the very least as well as their neighbours. Malaysia playing in what used to be their familiar orange and black, yellow and black, or even gold and black, the colour of the Tigers. For quite some time they swapped and went for a royal blue, but Japan it is today, playing in blue in this match. Earlier on we had Singapore in blue and Japan were in yellow, but here we're back to more familiar colours as we look at Shazreen Kamar, the captain of the Malaysian team. They have 2 replacements, a replacement Takraw and a replacement striker. Takraw being the server, striker being the one at the net to put away the points. But Shazreen Kamar is going to be there on court for every point, doing all of the defensive work. As we look at those 2 replacements, Sahidan Ali, the Takraw, just stretching his calf muscles there, and then Zamri Dahan is the striker who could come on and replace Khairul Zaman Hamir Akbar if Khairul isn't putting away the points at the net. But we're a long way away from that at the moment. It's Japan who are going to get us underway with Daishi Tamaki to serve the first point. And it's a great service. An absolute bullet. He was nervous in the first match, but there he fired an absolute bullet at Shahir Rozdi. Big tall Shahir Rozdi, 1m89, a mere 18 years old. Very much the future of the game. We've seen him once before in ISTAF competition. We'll see how he fares today. A little bit later on, it'll be his turn to serve after 3 points. First point was a service winner for Daishi Tamaki, the second one into the net. And if it goes into the net, you don't get a second bite at the cherry, so it's already 1-all. The toss from Toshitaka Naito. And unfortunately for Daishi Tamaki, after that great start, it's a double fault, and a double fault loses you 2 points in Sepaktakraw. We now swap over, and we'll see how Shahir Rozdi responds to the challenge. He too sends his first shot, first service into the net. So he's 0 for 1. He played well in the group stages of the ISTAF Super Series finals that were held in Kuala Lumpur in March of this year. Played very well up until the final, and then seemed to be a little bit overawed when he faced the Thais in the final. Looking a little bit overawed here. Needs to get into a rhythm as soon as possible. Khairul Zaman tosses the ball. Well, we had a double fault from Japan. We've had a single, double, triple fault there from Malaysia. It's a 3 for Japan. 3 for 3 on the opposition service. And poor Shahir Rozdi has got off to the worst possible start. The save, the set, and the spike. The first real exchange to speak of. Good service came over, but was saved and set by Shazrin Kamar, and then put away at the net by Khairul Zaman. Only 1m70, not the tallest of strikers. Saved and set once again. This time it was Khairul Zaman who did the saving in the setting. Shazrin Kamar nodded it back over the net. Caught the Japanese off balance. Great defensive work from the striker, and a wonderful header from Shazrin Kamar, who's the smallest player on the court at the moment, at 1m68, but he leapt above that 1m55 net to get his team back level. And after a 3 for, an unconventional 3 for Japan on a triple fault from Shahir Rozdi, it's a 3 for Malaysia. So the pressure back on Shahir Rozdi's 18-year-old shoulders, as he shows exactly where he wants the ball. Gets one over. Is he going to get his first point? It's going to be desperation thing to keep it alive. Shazrin Kamar. That's a poor set from Shazrin Kamar. The point goes to Malaysia in the end. Shazrin Kamar looking a bit sheepish there. He's usually one of the best setters and feeders in the game, but he punted that one back over the net on the first touch, and in the end, Japan taken by surprise. Shahir Rozdi has his first point on service. That will be a second. And when this man gets his eye in, he is a real weapon from the Tekong circle. We see that fired down the outside. Nothing that Ikimito, the Japanese captain, could do about that. 69 kilometers per hour. I think that's the fastest service we've seen so far at the tournament. Tournament only 6 games old, but that was still a pretty good mark, and that one was a quick one as well. So Shahir Rozdi, after a terrible start, 0 for 3, 3 faults, 2 great services in a row. He's targeting Ikimito out to the right. 69 kilometers per hour on the second service, 67 on the third one there. He's got his eye in now. Ooh, could have left that one, but decided to take it. The Khairul. Well, he decided to take that, Khairul Zaman, kept it in. Shazrin Kamar then set it up for him, but Khairul Zaman's work at the net, we'll see it here on the replay. He touches the net on the way down. Or does he go over the net? No, he touches the net on the way down. And you're not allowed to touch the net. Shazreen Kamar sets it up for Karol Zaman. And that's a combination we're going to be hearing a lot of today, Friday, Saturday and Sunday into the finals, I would have thought. Malaysia will be hoping at the very least to make the semi-finals. It's quite a tough Group A that they find themselves in, but they will be hoping to beat Singapore and Japan at the very least. The other team in the group will cause them some problems though. Korea, the only team not named Thailand to have won an ISTAF competition. They won the opening tournament of the 2013-2014 season in Delhi, beating Thailand in the quarterfinals. Oh, look at that. An absolutely excellent spike there from Toshitaka Naito. I do believe that is his first spike of the match so far. 10-6, and that's the first time that the Japanese striker gets on the board. But that was a great spike, back from mid-court. Shahir Rosdi lost his radar. When you're that tall, and Shahir Rosdi is 1.89 m and is only 18, so hasn't finished growing yet, it's quite difficult to get the right angle. If the angle's not acute enough, it'll fly out beyond the baseline. Too acute and it'll hit the net. Curls that one down into Ikimito's midriff. Ikimito keeps it alive with all three touches. Shazreen Kamar sets, and it's put away by Karol Zaman for his, I think that's his fourth spike so far. Beautiful set there from Shazreen Kamar, as calm as ever. Great service fired in there from Daishi Tamaki, but the Malaysian defense was up to the challenge and they saved, set and spiked. Are we going to give Karol Zaman the credit for that? It was a deft little touch there that avoided the block with the toes. 1, 2, 3, save, set, spike. That is the way you do it. Saved by the Tekong, set up by the feeder and spiked by the killer, as they like to call the striker in Malaysia, at the net. Always such poise from Shazreen Kamar. We see him set himself with his hands as he sets the ball up to get perfect balance, and a great spike at the net. Another one goes into the net from Daishi Tamaki. He's serving below 50% at the moment, 4 for 9. Mind you, Shahir Rosdi is 4 for 8 after that triple fault in his opening set. So, Karol Zaman with the toss. Shahir Rosdi waits for the ball to come to him. He has to make the most of any toss that is given to him. He can't refuse the toss. It's not like in tennis. If you don't like the toss, you start again. You can't do that in Sepaktakraw. And obviously there are two people involved, the feeder or striker and the Tekong. And if it's not all absolutely perfect, then it goes wrong. Both Tekongs 4 for 9 at the moment. Shahir Rosdi goes up to 5 for 10 as he gets the encouragement of team manager Yusuf bin Ali. Jamaluddin not the coach anymore, as we see Toshitaka Naito booting into the courtside referee's table there. Nguyen having to take evasive action. And poor Toshitaka Naito is spending more time over by the courtside referee's table there than he is actually on court. And once again we see Nguyen having to make sure he doesn't take a ball around the chops. 73 kilometers per hour now. That is a fast service. 76 is the quickest we've ever seen, but Shahir Rosdi is getting quicker and quicker. Excellent spike at the net there from Karol Zaman. Excellent in that it got past a two-man block Quite often you see one striker stretching out a leg, but there the striker and the tekong came up to the net and tried to block it with the back. You can touch the ball with any part of the body except the hands and the arms, so the back is allowed. And double blocking is a good tactic. Didn't come off on this occasion. Something else that didn't come off and hasn't been coming off are the services of Daishi Tamaki. 5 for 11. 6 points given away. Make that 7. 5 for 12, and you've got a feel for the big man here. Quite surprising that Japan haven't made a substitution. They have Masahiro Yamada on the bench, who could come on. They've decided to go with a youngster, living and dying with him, and they're dying with him at the moment. Great service from Shahir Rozdi. That was surely around the 65, 66 mark. Fired in once again to the right. He's a right-footed tekong, but he doesn't curl it around to the left-hand side of the opposition. He hits it directly to the right. And Ikimito is the one trying to combat that at the moment. 12 set points for Malaysia. The first one on the Shahir Rozdi service goes into the net. Shahir Rozdi will have a second bite at the cherry to try and finish this off. And he can't, a double fault. That puts him back down to 50%. A very poor tekonging. Well, we've seen the good, the bad and the ugly from the tekongs in this first set. Some very good stuff from Shahir Rozdi mixed in with some very poor stuff, and unfortunately it's been more poor serving than good from Daishi Tamaki, the number 4 for Japan, who puts his 8th service out of 13 into the net. And that's the first set in the books. After a mere 14 minutes, Malaysia take the opener, 21 points to 10. And they will be eyeing their points difference as well. They know that their bitter rivals from across the causeway, Singapore, beat Japan 22-10, 21-17. So if Malaysia can win and do so better on points, it'll certainly help them out should it come to a set or a points count back, since you get a point for each set you win. Seeing the highlights from the first half here. Plenty of excellent spiking from Karol Zaman, the number 3 for the Gold and Black. 5 out of 5 on the spikes, plus a successful block. As we look at the Malaysian team here, reasonably happy with their work at the moment, as Mohamed Zamri, the replacement striker, gives a little bit of encouragement and advice to the man he would be hoping to replace, Karol Zaman. Those faults on service meant that the first set never really got going as a contest. Malaysia won't be complaining, they won it 21-10, but very, very poor serving overall. 50% from Shahir Rozdi. Plenty of service winners from him, mixed in with the errors, but unfortunately for Daishi Tamaki, big tall fella at the bottom of screen there, it was a lot more faults than winners. Spike rate of 100%, 5 out of 5 for Karol Zaman, and a mere 2 out of 2 for Toshitaka Naito. He's not had the chance to come to the net. Japan need to be looking to their substitutes, I think. Doesn't look like Malaysia will be making any changes as we start the second set. 8 saves there, primarily from Shazrin Kamar. Will Japan make any substitutes? It certainly doesn't look like it. Both Masanori Hayashi and Masahiro Yamada, experienced players. Masanori Hayashi about to turn 30, Masahiro Yamada 33 years old. Plenty of ISTAF experience for those two, but they're trying to blood the youngsters in this tournament. It almost came off against Singapore, but it hasn't done thus far. So second set in this best of 3 match. Malaysia already halfway home. And now let's see whether Shahir Rosdi can get more consistency on his service in this second set. Well, that was a bullet to start off with. Again, he is targeting Ikimito, who, as the setter and feeder, should be the best defensive element that Japan have. But when Shahir Rosdi gets his service on form, Ikimito has not found an answer to what has been thrown at him thus far. Good variation there. The first one went to Ikimito, the second one went straight down the middle at Shahir Rosdi's opposite number, the Tekong Daishi Tamaki. Always difficult for players. They never know where the ball is going to go when it comes from a good Tekong who has variation in his game. We've had left centre. Will we go right? No, goes back to the left. Once again targets Ikimito. And that is a 3-fer on his own service for Shahir Rosdi. For a man who was serving at a 50% clip in the first set to come out and serve 3 service winners directly to start the second set, that will give him confidence. Confidence is something that is in short supply for Daishi Tamaki. 5 out of 14 services. It's almost painful to watch. Masahiro Yamada must come on at some point, particularly if the Tekong's going to hit the ball right into the bottom of the net. That almost went under the net there. He's being left in the firing line. Dug his team into a 5-0 hole already. Better service, but saved by Shahir Rosdi. Set by Shazrin Kamar. Put away by Khairul Zaman. 1-2-3 for Malaysia. 1-2-3, or rather 23-4 and 3. Another 3-fer for Malaysia. 3 on their own service, 3 on the Japan service. They have a 6-love lead. This one does go to the right. The point goes to Malaysia. It was an excellent service that was wonderfully kept alive by Toshitaka Naito. The ball just went over the net, and I think the block ended up coming up from Shazrin Kamar, and the block went over the net and landed just on the line, and on the line counts as in. So Japan finally on the bench, courtesy of a service that goes long from Shahir Rosdi. He'd been perfect thus far in this set, 4 out of 4, that's 4 out of 5, but he still improved his percentage to around 60%. You want to be serving at 75% to give your team a real chance of winning a match, though. Another virtual service winner. It won't go down as a service winner since Japan kept it alive for a couple of touches, but there was nothing that Ikimito could do. Cut a bit of a sorry figure as Ikimito. Not being able to set anything up at all for the man currently holding the ball, Toshitaka Naito, the striker for Japan. Good judgment from Shahir Rosdi to leave that one and watch it sail beyond the baseline. Daishi Tamaki's service percentage continues to plummet, and the youngster has indeed had the noose taken from around his neck. He goes on the bench. Masahiro Yamada comes straight in, has to serve straight away. Serve he does, just over the net. Kept alive by Shazrin Kamar. And put away there from Khairul Zaman with yet another excellent spike there. His 6th of the match, 7th of the match, as the statistics, courtesy of Namaji Systems, tick round on my monitor. 7 out of 7, a perfect 7. Will it be a perfect 8? It will. The double block was attempted by Japan. That's twice they've tried it, twice it has failed to come off. We've seen Korea do triple blocks on occasion. Trying the double block there. But the ball, when you're blocking with the back, you never know where it's going to fly off, at what angle it's going to fly off at. 11-1. It's been a massacre in this second set. Point goes to Malaysia. No, it doesn't. The referee thought it was point Malaysia, looked around at the line judge, who raised both hands because the ball went just beyond the baseline. Hands raised means it was out, palms flat means it was in. 2 points to Japan now, but they are 11-2 adrift. That crept over the net, and that, viewers, is the perfect service. A tape service is nigh on impossible to return. It thuds into the top of the tape, crawls over, all the pace is taken out of it. The ball falls over the net like a dying quail, and you cannot defend it. And there's no let in this game. You don't have to serve it again. It's a perfect ace. And that one as well was a service winner. Fired that one down, no doubt about that one. Didn't need to use the tape. Fired it in at Toshitaka Naito. Shahir Rozdi up to 59%, hovering around the 60% mark. Masahiro Yamada, he's serving at 100%. He's 2 for 2 at the moment. And his team doing a little bit better since he came on in the Tekong circle. Karol Zaman clips that one over, doesn't need to bash it down. It's the acuteness of the angle that counts. He could see where the blockers were and put it right in between them. How he manages to pick his spot whilst upside down is amazing. Good service from Masahiro Yamada. Second service winner there. He is 3 for 3 on serving, meaning that his team now overall is at 50%, but unfortunately Daishi Tamaki was 8 for 19. He gifted 11 points to Malaysia, and you can't afford to do that against one of the best teams in the game. A little bit of a discussion between Karol Zaman and the referee, Kiao Win. And the referee now announces the score. The toss comes up, and the service is barreled down, but saved. And that shows the advantage of the Tekong. Not only has Masahiro Yamada changed things around from his own serving circle, but there we see him save and set up the ball beautifully. And Toshitaka Naito gets just his third spike of the match. The poor guy at the net must be feeling he's cutting a bit of a lonely figure. But the Tekong is important on attack and on defense, and Masahiro Yamada is showing that. Since he's come on, the score has gone from 12-2 to 14-6. So 12-1 I think it was, in fact, since he came on with one service to come. So 12-2 it was, 12-2. So quite a turnaround from Japan, but there's still a long way adrift. And that drift drifts a little further as Shahir Rozdi puts down another service winner. Still got that serving percentage around 60%, only 3 for 5 getting over, but the 3 that get over really do ask a question of the opposition. Masahiro Yamada's first fault on service. Spin service, kept alive by Shazrin Kamar and set up for Karol Zaman, who makes it 10 spikes to go with 2 blocks. Perfectly set up there, as always, by Shazrin Kamar. He's set up, he's made seven saves so far, and countless sets. Oh, nice little tape service. If it doesn't die over the net, if it hits the tape, it changes the trajectory, and we see this bounces over the leg of Shazrin Kamar, who's ready to take it and is left there stupefied. Nothing he could do about that. As is his wont, Shahir Rozdi fires one into the net. When they come over, they tend to be pretty damn good. But when they don't, it's a point given away, and he has given away 11 points himself. Make that 12, a round dozen points that have been given away by Shahir Rozdi. It's not coming back to hurt Malaysia, at least not at the moment. They took the opener 21-10. They lead 17-9 in this second set. And team manager Yusuf bin Ali is going to leave him in there, Shahir Rosdi, to sort out his own mess. And he does so very well with the tape service. Another spike for Toshitaka Naito, just the fourth or maybe the fifth so far in 2 sets of action. An excellent powerful spike that is almost kept alive by Shazrin Kamar, but it had hit his hand, so the point was dead. The save and set by Shazrin Kamar, the spike, absolute perfection from Karul Zaman. Nicely positioned in the middle after the excellent set from Shazrin Kamar, and then perfectly put away at a lovely angle there in between the tape and the outstretched foot of Toshitaka Naito. 18-10. That one creeps over from Masahiro Yamada. As I was saying, there's no let in Sepaktakraw, so a tape service is as good as you can get. 18-11. Oh, 2 tape services in a row, cheeky. Very cheeky. Daishi Tamaki, the other Tekong, the one who started the match, is limbering up again. But Japan aren't dead and buried here. The 6 points adrift. Malaysia need another 3, but you never know if it's 3 bad services. There's one of them. Still all smiles is the youngster, 18 years old. But his serving percentage is now down nearer 50 than 60. And a timeout has been called by coach Najib bin Iman of Malaysia. Maybe just to settle Shahir Rosdi's nerves. Just a reminder of how he can, when he serves well, he is pretty darn good. But when he loses his rhythm, it goes all haywire. And Japan obviously allowed to make the most of this timeout as well, even though they didn't call it. No signs of any more changes from them. They've already alternated, had one of their 2 available substitutions in this second set, bringing on Masahiro Yamada to great effect at Tekong. Turned it around from 12-1 to 18-13. So an excellent run. A 12-6 run for Japan, but a 12-6 run won't help them now. They need an 8-1 run. They are 18-13 down. 31 points into this. This means that there will be 2 more services to come from Shahir Rosdi. He needs to win at least one of these 2 points. 18-15 could make for some very nervous faces in the Malaysian Regu. And there we go, the first one. Maybe that was a little tip from his coach, Najib bin Iman. Take a little bit off it, go for positioning, go for placement, and he does. Curls it in between Daishi Tamaki in the middle and Ikimito on the left. 19-13, 2 points from victory. Oh, and there's a beaut that goes into the... No, it's out! That one looked like it caught the line, but the assistant referee, Ong Luin from Myanmar, raises both palms. He's the one opposite the referee on the other side of the net. The Japanese players appeal, and it was indeed out. Swapping over now. And Shahir Rosdi kept it alive, then went to set it up, but failed with the set. Japan inching nearer. 18-12, it was 18-13 at the timeout, 19-15. Obviously, they just need 2 more points. But Japan, by the same token, just need another 6. We've seen some turnarounds so far, thus far in the tournament. Japan were 20-16 up against Singapore and lost 22-20. Can they make it 19-16 here? Yes, they can. Toshitaka Naito doesn't get many chances. That was just his 6th chance so far at the net, but he's taken all 6 of them. Karul Zaman 11 for 11 from the net. Toshitaka only been there 6 times, but when he's called upon, He puts his hand up, stands up to be counted. 1916, crucial point here. The attempted block goes wide. Outstretched legs from Japan, but they can't keep the ball in play on the block, and Malaysia have 4 match points. Another successful spike there from Khairul Zaman, as the ultra motion camera shows exactly how that spike was spiked and how the block came up, but the ball came off at the wrong angle. So Shahir Rosdi to finish it off with an ace or a service winner. I'm sure he'll try. It's kept alive, but now Shazreen Kamar puts it away. No, it was Khairul Zaman. Khairul Zaman who saved and then spiked on his own. Didn't need anyone to set it up for him. He saved it and set it in one touch. Didn't bother with a second touch, went straight to the third touch, as it were. Puts it away, and Malaysia win their opening match over Japan, 21-10, 21-16, to go top of Group A. Level on points, they have 2 points. Find themselves level with their causeway rivals Singapore. Japan have played 2, lost 2. No sets in the bag for them. They are on 0 points after 2 matches, and they're going to have their work cut out if they're going to qualify from Group A now. Still possible, but it'll be very difficult for them to get into the top 2. As we enjoy some of the highlights from this match, that was not one of Khairul Zaman's 13 spikes, because there he touched the net. But other than that, he was absolutely perfect when it came to the spiking. 13 spikes, 2 blocks. Excellent work from the man at the net. Desperation stuff a lot of the time from Japan, but they had no answer to Khairul Zaman. A real buzzing presence at the net, rolling the leg over with unabashed gusto every time he was given the opportunity. And we're going to see yet another opportunity past the double block that they tried on 2 or 3 occasions. Japan tried everything they possibly could, but they were unfortunately a level below. This young Japan Regu, they brought on Masahiro Yamada towards the end to add in a little bit of a veteran presence, the number 3 that we're seeing there, but it was too little, too late. They went with Daishi Tamaki, the Tekong, for a little bit too long, and by the time they brought on Masahiro Yamada, it was too late for them to turn it around, and Malaysia had got the straight sets victory. 9 service winners there from Shahir Rosdi, as opposed to only 2, both of those coming from Masahiro Yamada, the replacement Tekong, who came out with 2 tape services towards the end. Neither side served anything to write home about. The only reason Japan's serving rate went up was because Masahiro Yamada served at a 10 out of 12, 83% clip. But look at those spike winners, 13 from Malaysia as opposed to just 4 from Japan. Poor old Toshitaka Naito was not allowed to get to the net anywhere near as often as Japan need to get him up there. And coming up after this, we are